Hi, my name is Matt from filmformat.com, and in this video we'll be treading into some hotly contested territory by comparing the Leica R Summicron 50mm f2 with the Zeiss Planar T 50mm ZE F1.4. Both lenses have extremely passionate fans, which is no surprise. Let's take a look. First off, I'd like to add that this is not a perfect comparison. I am using the Leica R Summicron 50mm f2 rather than the Leica R Summilux 50mm f1.4. The Summilux version of the Leica R50 is far more expensive and in my opinion not worth the money if you don't need the extra stop. Both lenses are almost identical in build quality. They are made entirely of metal and are completely solid in the construction. Each lens also has a long, smooth focus throw with hard stops on either end. One of the major differences in their construction is that the Leica R Summicron has a manual aperture adjustment as opposed to the Zeiss ZE's automatic aperture. You can avoid this issue if you choose to buy the ZF version of this lens, which is designed for Nikon mount cameras. Having a manual aperture is a much better feature for filmmakers who prefer to adjust the exposure while shooting. It's also important to note that flaring is an issue with the Leica R 50mm while it's much better handled with a Zeiss Planar T 50mm. This is because the Leica R 50mm doesn't have an anti-flare coating on the front lens element, while the more modern Zeiss Planar T 50mm does. The next major difference is within image quality, and this is where it gets a little touchy for die-hard fans of either lens. To keep things fair, I compared both lenses using the same adapter for each respective lens mount on a Panasonic GH4. In this review, I used a Metabones speed booster, which widens the focal length 0.71 times, increases the maximum aperture by one stop, and increases the overall sharpness. Both lenses create beautiful and very sharp looking images, but there is a major difference. The Leica R 50mm produces creamy looking images with wonderful contrast and slightly warmer colors. The Zeiss Planar T 50mm produced higher contrast and slightly cooler images. Overall, the bokeh in the Zeiss Planar T 50mm looks very smooth compared to the Leica R, which has more octagonal highlights, due to its fewer iris blades. Personally, the image produced by the Leica R lens looks more classically cinematic to me, while the Zeiss Planar T appears to be more modern looking. There are so many lens manufacturers that are trying to match this popular Zeiss look right now, which is why this cooler contrasty style is something I see a lot nowadays. The Leica look, however, is reminiscent of a nostalgic cinematic era that's rarely seen in newer videos. For this reason, I bought into Leica land and haven't been disappointed. Feel free to click on this button for a more in-depth written review on the comparison between these two lenses. Click here if you'd like to see a review on the Leica R Summicron 50mm f2. Click here if you'd like to see a review on the Zeiss Planar T ZE 50mm f1.4. And as always, feel free to subscribe and visit filmformat.com for more lens reviews. Thanks for watching.